Hello and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically today, ladies and gentlemen, you join me in actually a very quiet Yorkshire, so I don't know why I'm shouting. Today I am visiting a very good friend of mine, a chap that has not been on the channel for quite some time. It is Mr. Dean DMB. His name is not Dean DMB, but Dean of DMB Collection. You will no doubt recognise Dean. Dean has been a huge feature in my kind of car life and on my channel for years and years and years, and he has been assisting me with purchases of cars for years and years and years now. Anyway, this is the first time I visited his new facility. If you don't know about DMB Collection yet, I'll leave the little on the screen. Go and check out their Instagram. But we've just driven here in his Tesla. A little bit forward on the Tesla. It is a Tesla Model 3 and it's got the performance pack and all the ludicrous stuff, and it's absolutely mental. I love it. But we're not here to talk about the Tesla because, as many of you will be aware, I've got a very, very big decision on my hands. I'm replacing my Aventador SV, which I got rid of a number of months ago now, and the time has come to replace it. So I'm going to have a chat with Dean because, as I say, Dean has been a huge part of my car purchasing and car selling history over the past few years. There's rarely been a car that I've bought without consulting him or without him having anything to do with it. So his opinion, his thoughts, and particularly on the one car I actually really want to discuss with him, is imperative to me. So without further ado, we're going to get inside here and we're going to get on with the video. So then I'm now at the back of the unit, and one thing I just want to preface, Dean has just moved into this unit and we're about to bring him in. He's just off camera. Dean has just moved into this this new unit here, so it's a work in progress. But at the back here, should we bring him in because you can explain exactly what's going on? Here he is, he's back.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
He's back on the channel, he's back from Dubai, and here we are. Do you want to explain what's going on here? This is kind of an emptier portion at the back of the unit here.
It is, yeah, no, it is a work in progress at the moment, so we're basically putting a false wall at the back here,
nice.
Which is cool. I've just got my new sign that's arrived, so I'm very excited about that.
Very, very nice.
It's all made out of aluminium, which is going to be great. That's going to be LED backlit, so it'll create like a nice halo effect right at the back of the unit as well. So we're going to be doing images of the cars in here as well.
So this is going to be your light room. This is where the images of the stock are going to be taken.
They will, yeah, so it'll be quite cool.
Lovely stuff.
Excited.
So, more interestingly than a blank space and a very nice aluminium logo, we've got a room full of cars. So here we go then, this is the back of the unit. We've come in over there and there's some very, very exciting special stuff at the front there, and we will get onto that. Ignore the bag, I'm so sorry about that, everyone. So we've got, this is all stock, right?
It is.
Okay, so we've got a load of 911s, and I will leave the site below with all the stock here, and if you've got a supercar, a sports car, or anything vaguely exciting, do drop Dean a message on Instagram. I'll leave the little on the screen once again. Drop him a DM on Instagram anyway, because he'll take it in and he'll get rid of it very, very quickly at a very good price. Let's actually start right at the back then. We've got an R8, we've got a Bentley. I'm just going to whiz through these things because you're all car fans. You all know what these cars are. I'm not going to bore you to death. I just want to walk around and show you some cars because cars are cool. This Huracan's very, very cool actually. Stealthy matte black Huracan with a wing on it. That is actually cash, and for the money Huracans are at the moment, I suspect that's probably one of the coolest ways you can spend the cash on a car. Very, very nice. Anyway, we've got R8 V10 Plus there. Again, these are astonishing value for money now as well, and that is basically that, but for very, very good money. So as I say, all the details for these cars, I'm not going to bore you, they're all on the website. We've got two 720Ss there. That one particularly is a very, very nice spec. There's carbon everywhere. Make sure you go check that out. We've got Portofino here, and that's actually owned by Jonathan Jolly. Some of you will know who he is. Absolute social media megastar. We've got actually a very nice Evoque here as well. That's kind of just thrown in the mix. That's a very high spec Evoque. So if you're looking for a car for, I was going to say for your girlfriend now, I was going to gender specify that car there, which is you'll be told off for in 2020. Very nice car though. We've got a Cayman here. That's actually sold though, is it not?
Yeah, it is. We sold that one.
Some of these cars actually sold, so I might have misled a lot of you, by the way, by pointing at cars that you can't actually buy. R8 V10 Plus as well. Again, astonishing value. So there's two of those in stock here. A very, very nice Turbo S as well. That spec is amazing. Is that live on the site?
It is, yeah, graphite blue, lovely spec car, yeah, it's very nice indeed. Two R8s which are amazing value, 85 grand.
85 grand for that?
85 grand for a supercar. I mean, just look at it.
Just look at it sat there indeed,
Yeah.
Dean. So, I mean, a typical finance example on that, what are we looking at in terms of money and all the rest of it?
Well, I think now, because they've sort of dropped so much, the residual values will be very strong.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people will be absolutely surprised how cheap these will be on a monthly payment.
Ah, very nice indeed. And yeah, you can sort out finance and stuff, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Let's squeak through here. I don't want to damage anything, Dean. You got another one? You got 3?
Yeah.
So we've got another R8 V10 Plus as well. So it's safe to say if you want an R8 V10 Plus, and I don't blame you if you do, they're astonishing cars, get yourself down to D&B. Now, one of the highlights here is this Huracan Performante Black Coupe. Your phone's been ringing off the hook about this one, has it not, Dean?
Yeah, we've got lots of inquiries. I don't think that'll last very long.
So by the time this video goes out, I suspect that car will probably be gone. However, if for whatever reason you've got some tyre kickers on that one and it's still here, it's worth inquiring anyway. Do give Dean a shout. It's comfort seats as well, which is apparently key goods in these because nobody wants the carbon seats, which I actually got told off about when I spec'd mine. People said, why don't you spec carbon seats? But there we go. Anyway, we've got a 911 GTS here, and this is one of the last of the naturally aspirated ones as well. So this has got the 3.8 litre in it.
It's a sold car.
This one is sold as well, so I'm wasting your time by showing you that. That's carmine red though. We've got a GT4 in stock here as well. That's relatively fresh in. We've got a wrap on it. I believe the wrap might be coming off that one. It's going back to its original colour of sapphire blue. Very cool car. GT4s, they're just bulletproof, amazing cars. Astonishing value for money. And what's that about? It's roughly 70 grand.
It is, yeah.
Amazing. I sold mine for 107 grand, Dean.
How much?
107.
Wow.
I paid 86 for it, Dean. So that around 70k is amazing value for money, and I already know that you lot are going to be looking at that and commenting about it. That is actually Solberg's exact car. That's not for sale.
No, it's not for sale.
That is not for sale, and that's probably worth more. It's probably worth more than everything else in here. There is a story as to why that's here, but we'll go into that another day because it's not for now. So down here we also have a Dbs Superleggera 59 edition. These are so cool. Gold bits all over it. Same badge actually as my Vantage. Very, very nice. There's some really cool details. They've got kind of gold bits through there, tan seats and some livery painted in the roof. Very nice car. Very nice car indeed, Dean. Anyway, down here we've got Ferraris everywhere. We've got a 360 there. But what's caught my eye is this yellow Huracan Spider. Very, very nice. Spring is coming. Well, it's already here pretty much. Spring, summer is coming. And if you want a punchy car to drive around in and have some fun in, pretty much that's about as good as it gets.
That one though, Tom.
Yep.
Look at the actual trim.
What's going on in here?
And the air vents, have you noticed there?
Oh, you got forged carbon in a standard Huracan.
Ever.
Wow.
The spec is absolutely phenomenal. It's only 2,000 miles, but it has absolutely every single option you can think of. So
that's mega. We like that, Dean. And they're all on trickle charge with the old C-Techs here. C-Tech chargers everywhere, key goods. And you got the nice wheels as well on the Huracan. Very nice. That paint is popping. It's kind of like pearlescent. Lovely stuff there, Dean. And we've got a Mustang GT350 as well, which I can vouch for. Is this the one that we went to Monaco with?
Yeah.
I can vouch for the fact that this thing is probably the loudest thing in the room. It is hell. It is honestly hell. Again, is that on the site?
It is on the site, yeah. It is for sale.
Wonderful stuff, Dean. I think at this point it's time to go for a drive and we're going to discuss what's probably going to be the SV replacement. There isn't a better bloke to chat to about this particular car. What he doesn't know about this car isn't worth knowing. So, without further ado, I'm pretty much going to tell you what's going to be replacing the SV. Fingers crossed. I'm going to have a good old chat with Dean about this because it's exciting times and I don't want to get this wrong, so I need his help on this.
Let's go for a drive, Tom.
Is there something else? There he is. We're not on TikTok now, mate. You calm yourself down over there. There's one more car actually outside here, isn't there? And I'm going to be trolled. Basically, I think there's probably a picture of this on my Instagram already. And I'm going to be told to buy this. This is outside. Well, it was inside. We've just brought it out. 458 Speciale. Now, I've had so many of you telling me to buy one of these. And I'm going to be honest with you, at some point in the future, I may well look to trade my Pista against one of these. I just don't know yet. I'm still in the kind of umming and ahhing stage, but I love these. They're so good. They're just cash. They sound amazing. Apparently they drive amazing. I've still not driven one. That wasn't a hint, by the way. I've still not driven one, so at some point I'd love to get out in one of these and fully make my decision between this and the Pista. Now the Pista's got an exhaust on it though, I'm feeling a little less leaning towards one of these. However, that is in the thought process at the moment. As many of you will know, I can release some equity out of the Pista. Pistas are 330, 350 odd K. Getting those angles there, Dean. They're about 350k, some are up about 380, and they are shifting throughout that. A good Speciale these days is about 300, so there is a price differential there, and there is some money to be snaffled out of the pista and put into one of these should I desire it. I just want to show you something cool about this unit as well here. Dean's little setup here, very, very nice. We've got a bay here, a detailing bay as well, where the cars are prepped and kind of looked after and all the rest of it. So really nice little setup here. And as I say, he is just getting going, so it won't look like this for long. Oh, are we going to get a start up? Here we go. Lovely stuff, Dean. Just going to be putting this back inside now. Lovely stuff.
Without a doubt, the best sounding naturally aspirated Ferrari V8s ever made.
It is. It is the best sounding naturally aspirated Ferrari V8 ever made, Dean. You're not wrong there. What an amazing car. I would love to add one of these to the garage. I really would. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? We've just both frantically been sorting ourselves out to try and make ourselves look slightly more presentable.
That's it.
Anyway, we are in the Tesla because we're going to be talking SV replacement. So, as many of you will be aware, the one car that's top of my list by now to replace the SV is a Porsche Carrera GT.
Yes.
Now, there's a reason Dean is in the mix. Many of you will not know this, but I'll give you can go ahead with your Porsche background.
Oh, thanks. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries at all.
Yeah, so obviously I spent many years at Porsche, working for Porsche Centre in Leeds, and during the time that the Carrera GT was actually being designed and built, obviously I was working there and I became sort of more of the Carrera GT specialist and sold quite a few of them brand new as well. So yeah, so I do know quite a bit about them, got to see the cars being built in Leipzig, so know absolutely how incredible those cars really are.
So yeah, you're all being roped in. So that's actually quite amazing that you were selling them brand new. So what were they brand new? About 360k?
Yeah, about 330. There wasn't many options you could get at the time, so around that sort of figure, yeah.
And we were discussing earlier, so Leipzig then is where they were built. So, in terms of buying one now then, because they've been out, well, they were sort of 2005, 2006 cars, weren't they?
Yeah.
So we're now sort of 15, 14 years on.
Well, they're actually designed in 2002.
Wow.
So it was 2004 when they first came out, those cars.
Mental.
But yeah, in 2002, I mean, obviously they designed that Carrera GT in 2002, and when you look at the design of it all, that sort of, then the DNA of the Carrera GT went into all the later cars.
Yep.
So you look at Boxsters, even 718 now got a sort of scoop in the side.
Yep.
That came from Carrera GT. The line at the back of the headlights as well, and the back of the rear lights, that became from 996s, they were very flat,
yep.
And then they went on an angle to 997.
Yeah.
The centre console you see now in modern cars,
yep.
That's the same from the Carrera GT, so lots of things came from that car.
Such an amazing car.
Yeah.
So cool. So the background for that then, the engine from it, I heard there was something to do with F1. Porsche were going to do some F1 stuff, or what?
Yeah, there was
what's the whole deal with that?
There was quite a lot of rumours, to be fair, but it was actually Le Mans as well that it was designed for. They sort of designed the engine before they designed the car.
That's so cool.
So they wanted to do that to get the best, obviously low centre of gravity,
yeah.
Obviously mid-engine car sort of design. So they wanted it to be the best, obviously car of its time. Obviously the Enzo was being built then.
Yep.
So I know that's another level, but the
yeah.
it was bizarre to design an engine and then design the car around the engine as well. So
I think that kind of just shows what an incredible car it is. You mentioned the Enzo, which is interesting because Enzos are what, 2 million quid now?
Oh god, yeah.
And a Carrera GT is, well, for a nice one, 800-900. I think that a Carrera GT, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I think it's a good place to put cash. If you're going to spend sort of 5, 6, 7, 800 grand on a car at the moment, I think it's a good place to put cash. Or maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, I've always said that right from the very start.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first came out, they actually dipped.
Mental.
And actually went as low as sort of less than £200,000.
You're joking, mate.
Which is crazy, but then obviously they did pick up again, and they sort of stayed a little bit stagnant.
Yeah.
They dipped again, and then they've gone back up again now. So I think, as my opinion of them is, they are the best analog supercar, and it's nice to have that gearbox. You can hear it clunking. It's doing something with the engine at the back.
Yeah.
It's not an over-synthesized car, of course.
No.
And I do think that will be, without a doubt, £1 million car.
Yeah, I think so too. You just look at all the kind of precedent as well, and back when they were kind of like 200, 300 grand, you know, F50s,
yeah,
300 grand,
yeah.
You know, like that was the era where you could buy a hypercar for a few $100 and it wasn't a thing. People weren't seeing the end of analog supercars back then. They weren't seeing everything going to, well, turning into cars like we're sat in, basically. No one saw that coming, so that's why they were kind of all just being churned out and at low value. So yeah, that is top of my list. In terms of, there's lots of Carrera GTs about. Well, there's not that many. There's about 1,300 built.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
That's correct, yeah.
And obviously a load of them have been smashed up and whatever. And there weren't that many UK cars. So the UK cars are called C16s.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you seem to think that there are about 50 odd.
There's about 50 brought into the UK, yeah.
Yeah, so 50 UK spec cars.
Yeah.
And of those, I had a little look on how many left not so long ago, and it's 40 something. So low 40s, I think, in terms of UK Carrera GT.
Which is rare, that's rare.
It's a very rare car.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I want a UK car.
Yeah.
And the pickings are very, very slim. I mean, I am being tagged in Carrera GT stuff every 5 seconds on Instagram. Some of them are in the UK, but not UK cars. They're UAE cars. There's American cars, and there's also Euro spec cars.
Yeah,
there's 3 different specs.
Brought over, yeah.
Now you've got to be quite careful, especially if you're paying big money for a Carrera GT. It's worth waiting for the right car. There aren't any on the market that I can see, like out in the open market, that I actually want. But I have found a car off market that I'm kind of negotiating on, dealing with, paperwork's all being dealt with, verifying what the history of the car and all that kind of stuff, because it's very, very important you don't buy one that's been wrapped around a tree and put back together again.
Absolutely.
There was a very interesting car actually at Octane Collection. Many of you, half of you have probably tagged me in it on Instagram already. It's up at 400k. That car is a silver one. Probably already seen it. You've seen it, haven't you?
GT Silver, yeah.
Yeah, GT Silver car, 66,000 odd miles. That car is, history is well known on it. This isn't me putting anything out in the open that shouldn't be. That car was crashed a number of years ago, quite heavily. But worth noting that probably when it was crashed, it was only worth 200-300 grand, I would say. So it was kind of pretty much written off at that point.
Yeah.
In this day, that car possibly wouldn't have been written off. Possibly would have been actually repaired because it'd be worth doing, but back then I don't know the exact ins and outs of the value of that crash. However, it was crashed and then repaired by some chap who is now a specialist actually in Carrera GTs. He put it back together himself and he's run that car for the past God knows how long, and it's now got 66,000 miles on it. That car is 399, it's 400 grand, and I've been tagged in it so many times. I'm not buying that car. I'm not buying that car. It represents amazing value. I'm sure it's absolutely sorted. I'm sure it's fine. But I'm not going to buy that car. I think that'd be a car that you'd kind of take to the grave with you. You'd kind of just buy that car, run it, and that'd be kind of a keeper long-term car. I'm young enough that I don't really see cars that I would kind of go the next 40 odd years with. So it wouldn't be a car I'd buy. I've always got resale in the back of my mind. So it's an odd one to buy. Do you not agree? I think I need to hold out and find an example that's possibly a bit kind of cleaner than that, a bit less complicated than that. So I found a car anyway, and we'll be going to look at it soon.
It's exciting.
And hopefully the paperwork all matches up and all that kind of stuff. But there's various bits and bobs to look for. Is there anything like standout that you would say when you're going to buy a Carrera GT? What would you look for?
Not necessarily, no. I think, I mean, obviously it didn't come in an awful lot in terms of specifications, so it's not a spec-specific car in any way, shape or form. I think the important thing is the car's provenance, that's all. I think it's important that it's had a good service history in its life. Yes, of course, check the panels, but the whole car is carbon fibre, so, you know, chassis and all, so it's it is important to make sure that it's thoroughly checked out.
So that car's been shunted because it's got a carbon chassis. It's no good, basically. You can't have one that's been shunted.
I mean, when I first went and drove one, I took a customer. We went down to Millbrook and he went on the Alpine circuit in the Carrera GT. Yep. And he came off. And he slid down the back, and on the back, underneath the number plate, there was a fracture in the carbon fibre. And we thought, oh, it's just a replaceable part. That part under there went halfway underneath the car. So it was well over £100,000 just to replace that one piece of broken and fractured carbon. So yeah, it is important that you obviously get it checked out properly by someone who's very reputable.
If you are blasting around a track, you're insured. That would sink me. That'd be the end of me.
100 grand.
Right, well,
a piece of trim.
I mean, I don't know what would happen at that point.
Yeah.
Christ, that's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. But that's the thing with all these cars. I mean, even the piste around Silverstone, anything like that, you come off, you take a corner off one of these things, it's going to go into 6 figures. You might think it's a bit cosmetic. All these things, everything's attached to something else, and you've done your balls on the lot. So yeah, terrifying stuff. But there definitely are clean ones about, and there definitely are snotty ones about that are being shunted and had all sorts of horrific moments in their life. So I will be doing my due diligence on this particular car, and I'll be in a position to reveal it hopefully very soon to you all. If this one falls through, and for whatever reason it's not the right car and it doesn't work and whatever, I will restart my hunt for a Carrera GT. At the point at which I can't find a clean car, I just won't get one. I'll get something else. So there is SLS Black Series on my list. F12 TDF is still on the list, despite the fact I think they're very, very overpriced at what they are at the moment, and they're coming down. There are other cars, LFA's in there, but there's none on the open market.
No.
LFA, there aren't any at all. No. Very good choice there, and that is definitely on my to-do list. So yeah, it's a very complex hunt. It's not the same as any other car I've bought. It's not the same as even buying something special like a Pista or an SV, where you can just go to most dealerships and get one and finance the hell out of it, and it'll probably be fine. These are specialist cars now, so we're in a different era, and it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. This is going to be a milestone car for me. Whilst the kind of modern supercars have been amazing and fantastic, and I never thought I'd even be able to sit in most of these cars, let alone drive them around and own them. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a holy grail car. So fingers crossed. And Dean will be helping me with my kind of journey on that, and doing some looking into, because you know you've got contacts over the years as well.
Yeah, of course.
You know how to research a car.
Yeah.
So that's going to be invaluable, because myself, I mean, I can ring Porsche GB or whoever as much as I like, but you need to know the right people in these fields. These cars are all known relatively, like, personally. There's not, as I said, there's not that many in the UK, so we'll be doing some bits and bobs on that. So do stay tuned for the Carrera GT journey, and I want to say huge thanks to Dean as well for helping out with this. Yeah, there's nothing in this for you other than just being a friend. He's just helping me out. Like, I'm not paying you for your services on this. This isn't a service that Dean offers. You can't send him a DM and just help me find one. Although he's a nice guy, so maybe. So yeah, thanks, and thanks also for opening up DB Collection.
No, it's been a pleasure.
A Sunday. Yeah. I've hauled Dean out for whatever he's doing. So. Dean's other half, if you're watching this, I do apologise. I've nicked your husband for the afternoon. If you get any earache, I'm really sorry for that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and do make sure you go and check out DB Collection's website, because as I say, it's very early days, growing very, very quickly, and there's a kind of a refurb going on as well. So it's exciting times. This is kind of fledgling days for the new business, but it's already popping. You're extremely busy. And yeah, it's really good to see you, mate. So
yeah,
congrats
likewise,
on that.
Thank you.
Congrats, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao for now.
Bye.